We're at CB Feedlot today. My name's Clint Blanchard. We'd just like to take you around and show you our feed store.
Clint, y'all have like every kind of feed in here. What are some of y'all's most popular feeds?
We do. So we offer an assortment of all feed for all animals, but probably some of our most important feed, I guess some of our better sellers would be like a 28% dried distiller's cube. It's made out of 100% dried distiller's grain. Super high energy, high fat. So cattle love it. It's great. Maybe on the horse side, I mean, we do offer several brands. Don't really, all brands are good depending on what you want, but we sell a Windlands. We carry Blue Bonnet. Good and Sound is a very popular one that we sell, made by West Feeds. So there again, we offer a variety of those, and Blue Bonnet has got some really high quality feed, for sure enough performance horses. Maybe on the sheep and goat side, we have several. I mean, Lenders out of Comfort, Texas. We got some goat feed by them that's pretty popular, Nauman 241. It just kind of depends on what your needs are for that animal at the time.
Y'all even have like show stock.
We do. We've got show feed. We carry the Lenders show pig feed. We carry the Sun Glow. So we got several options. We carry High Pro, all your cattle show feeds. So yeah, we try to cover all species of all show animals for all the kids.
And y'all got several overhead bins out there. What all y'all keep in that?
We do. So in our bulk tanks, we keep whole corn. We keep a 16% deer feed. We offer a 14% cattle ration. We have the DDG cubes. So pretty much we kind of carry everything in bulk to cover all your bulk needs, except for horse feed. We don't put horse feed in bulk just for contamination purposes and stuff. But so pretty much everything to cover all your other livestock needs.
What do you think is your biggest selling feed? Who's your biggest producer in Coryell County? Is it cattle? Are you selling the most cattle feed in cubes, or?
Yeah, I would probably say it's still cattle feed at the moment, with sheep and goat being very close behind it.
A lot of commercial sheep and goats?
There are a lot of commercial sheep or goat. We do have a few breeders here in Gatesville that raise some, registered Dorpers or whatnot, or show lambs. But yeah, I would say most part of it being commercial livestock.
Clint, I've known you my whole life. Your mom babysat me when I was a little kid, and we were just talking about that. She's babysitting our little girl now, but I've known you my whole life, and you've been in the feed business for a long time. How long have you been in the feed business?
Me and Carrie, my wife, was talking about that a while ago. I think this year will make 29 years of working in the feed business, owning or operating. But
I mean, and you worked at for different people. Kind of worked your way up.
Yeah, I mean, when I was, I guess, right when I turned 16, I started working for Co-op, which was in the same building that we own now, and had a great teacher, great mentor, Kyle Latham, that taught me a lot of what I know.
Yeah.
From there, I went to Maccabee out of Gatesville and Hamilton, and great people, and learned a lot from them. And then later in years, I've got to go out on my own and buy my own store.
Yeah.
So
how long have you owned the feed store?
This store location I'm in right now, I've actually owned. I'm going October of this year will be 6 years that I've owned it. So.
And then the last location.
Yeah, my last location was called The Ranch. That was me and my aunt and uncle and my wife. It was a feed and Western apparel, women's apparel. I owned it for 5 years prior to that.
What were some struggles that you saw going from just working in the feed business to owning your own business?
Oh, struggles was probably, I guess, would be, like most people may say, would be financial. I've always had a good work ethic. I owe that to my mom and dad. I mean, they taught me well, and always taught me to work hard. So as a little kid, I've always worked hard no matter what I did. But struggles in business, it's just, I guess I'd say I didn't have a lot to start with a lot. So I've had to work my way up from mowing yards, hauling hay, to doing whatever in the cattle business. So yeah, it's, when I tried to get out on my own, you know, it's hard to start. So thank God I had people in Gatesville that kind of helped me get going and backed me, and until me and Carrie got on our feet and was able to go out and be able to go out on our own and do what we needed to do.
Yeah.
So
I know a lot of people I talk to, it's like getting started, especially coming from our background, is like the paperwork and keeping up with all of that.
Yeah. So there again, we did have a management company that started with us, and there again, thanks to them for that. They taught us a lot. You know, taught me, Carrie, my daughter, how to get going. And so yes, the book work, the paperwork, because where I'm at was out here pushing dollies, loading feed, chunking feed. I wasn't very good with paperwork and book work. I kind of knew what I needed to do in my head and how to make things work. I was a good people person, but when it come to the finances and the CPA and all that kind of stuff, that's where I got lost.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And dealing with people, you seem to always, every time I come in, you're always talking to somebody, and anytime I have a question or somebody has a question, you're able to answer it. Is that's always just came natural to you?
It has. Like I said, a lot of that's probably goes back to my mentors that started me. I've just always been good with people. I've always wanted to be helpful. I mean, I just knew, striving to build my business, that if I wasn't helping people, I wouldn't go nowhere. And I say that goes for any business. It's what you put into it what you're going to get out of it. And some people say I go out of my way, but that's just what I do. If I don't know the question or I don't know the answer, I'm going to get a vet on the phone. I'm going to call somebody. It may be another store, but I'm going to find the help that I need to find for my customer.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think you've always been kind of a problem solver. You've kind of developed some feeds and brought new feeds in. Are you always looking for a solution, because y'all have your own livestock also? I
do. So I mean, being we run our own livestock, I mean, that makes me want to do things. But I mean, there's all kinds of feeds on the market, all good feeds mostly, but that don't mean that it's always going to benefit or be what somebody else needs. So whether it's from feeding lambs, feeding cattle, I mean, if somebody comes in and says, "Hey, Clint, I've got 3 weight calves. What do I need?" I'm either going to tell them what I know, or I'm going to call my feed company, try to figure out what that particular weight of calf needs nutritionally, or whether it be a 6 weight or a 7 weight calf. And that goes in the show industry or the commercial. And because, you know, every animal, different sizes. There is some feeds out there, kind of one size fits all, but at the same time, somebody may be needing something different to, you know, to do more of what they need to do on the bottom end of their line, you know, and profit. So
yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool to have the good feeds and stuff, but it also comes down to bottom line, what you can afford. So
right. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's always, you know, in tough times, the drought, and you know, I mean, looking west over here has got a hay replacer cube they come out with, you know, a year or two ago, and kind of to help feed horses and people with forage shortages. So you know,
and I know I've seen you get different feeds in, trying to help people around here, and help the condition of the livestock, and also help them in their pocketbook. And one of those was the DDG cube. Getting it in here when it first came out, and then since then, I guess you've got the Mix 30, and talk a little bit about those two products.
So yeah, I mean, Mix 30. So DDG come out, you know, 5, 6, 7 years ago. Far as in a cube form, it's an extruded cube. It's got to be made through an extruder mill, not a regular pellet mill. It's very high in fat, so it's hard to hold together through a regular mill. So when it come out, we jumped on it, had some friends and family told me about it, seen it in Livestock Weekly, so that's where I pursued it. Kind of went all over Central Texas talking and trying to move this product, and And when I put it in the store, I never realized how good it would take off, but it did so well, and I got so much feedback on how the cattle did on it, how they liked it. Just a big difference. So it's took off very well. The Mix 30 kind of to me is borderline. I'm not going to say it's not just straight distiller's grain, but it is a corn byproduct. So there again, it's a high energy, low protein, high energy. It's very the TDN on it's pretty good. Kind of like the DDG cube. The TDN on that cube, total digestive nutrients, is really high compared to some other products. So there again, the Mix 30 has been great. You can feed it to cattle, sheep, goats. Consumption on it's very well, and it's just been a great product to add to our line of feeds. So
give somebody another option.
Right, yeah. I mean, not everybody wants to dump cubes out. Not everybody wants to put out syrup tubs. So we just offer several different things to try to meet everybody's needs or demands, or you know, some people work full-time jobs daylight till dark, and you know, so you always got to find what's going to help that customer. So
and y'all have like we kind of said, we touched on before, y'all have some sheep, some goats, some cows, and some cattle. And are you playing around all the time with their feed and kind of seeing what works? Or
yeah, I do, and I know I probably wouldn't tell customers to play around with feed all the time, but because I have the feed store, I do. I've got horses, cattle, sheep, and goats. I'm not a big rancher by no means, but I do have some of all. So yes, I'm always taking feed that, you know, may not work for somebody, or maybe I bring a feed in that doesn't do well, and normally I get the guinea pig that and take it home to the horses or this and that. And I do experiment with feeder lambs and try to figure out, you know, what the best protein, what the best mixture is for that. So yeah, I guess I'm kind of the disposal to my animals from the store, that stuff don't get used or maybe, you know, not going as well. So
yeah, and you can go give advice to somebody else. Then
I can, and that really does. I mean, having to do that and being able to do that, it does help me know. I'm just not here trying to sell somebody something. I've been there and done it because I own the animals and I know what it's going to do. And there again, I'm not the perfect, you know, I'm not a vet by no means, but I'm friends with several vets and get good advice. And I'm always going to try to tell my customer, hopefully, what's right, not wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, not just for them, but for their animal also.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Y'all are processing payments with us at Diversified Payments. It's been almost a year now. You're one of my first clients. I know when we came in and talked about it, I mean, y'all were wanting to save money, and we proposed going on the dual pricing program, passing the fee on the customer, and you were kind of apprehensive at first, kind of what everybody would think. But I mean, it was going to save y'all like $20,000 a year. So how has that been? Have you seen anything, feedback from customers, and then how's it been on your side?
Customer wise, I guess when we first started, you know, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, there was a few people that was kind of iffy about it and like, well, why are we having to pay the fee? But there again, being in the ag business, and great customers, very understanding. We love them all. Most of them understood when I explained about this fee, and a lot of them even said, well, really, you have to pay a fee for me to use my card? I'm like, yeah. And so the more we talked to them, you know, it might have been a little rough, but and then it got to where you're just seeing so many businesses do that. Because with that being said, you know, we are in the ag business. We're a low margin store. We work hard, we sweat hard, we pay our guys good, we try to take care of people like family. So therefore, like you said, we was paying a fee to do that, and it has helped. It's helped our bottom line. It's helped be able to serve our customers better. At what we can do. So.
And I've dealt with feed myself, and like you said, it's low margin. So
very
when you're paying 3-4% for for somebody to use a credit card. It really cuts in. It hurts you on that feed, on that bag of feed.
It does. And like I said, we've been here 5-6 years at this location. We've grew. We've been blessed, thankful to God and customers. But yes, you don't realize it till the end of the year, and you see what you paid in fees, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's money that we could help on margin or pay. We've got great hands and employees, I should say, and I mean, they're wonderful.
And y'all sponsor stuff around here and help at the county the show and all that stuff. So
yeah, I mean,
when y'all do better, y'all can give back more.
Well, exactly. I mean, like I said, feed's a low margin. We sell lots of show feed, and sometimes even have to discount that. So saving this money, doing this, it's a great feedback to the community, because we do try to do a lot for the 4-H and at the local auctions and wherever it may be, we try to help if we can.
Mm-hmm. Do you see any big changes coming in the feed industry or anything like that, or for the feed store?
Oh, I don't know if I see anything big just yet. I mean, I'm always looking for bigger, better things. Not necessarily to just better myself, but better the community is the way I look at it. Anytime I can add something to help people and the town's growing, and that's what I want to do. So at the moment, I don't guess I see anything huge coming, but I'm always looking.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know it's kind of been a challenge. Y'all carry a lot of medicine and stuff in there, and they're kind of tightening down on those regulations. So.
They are. So prescription drugs for the beef cattle or any animal as that goes, if it's prescription, just like on human, you have to have a script. So one thing I do offer, we do have our script license, which means we can sell prescription drugs. With that being said, you have to have a script from your veterinarian that we file and keep up. But we do have it. We do offer it, and that's from powdered antibiotics to your LAs, penicillins, all your vet script drugs. If you're working with a vet, then yes, I can sell you that product.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, Clint, I'm glad you have this feed store, and glad to do business here, and glad to have you processing payments with us also.
I'm glad to have your business, and I appreciate you on the credit card
deal. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank y'all.